I'm going to run through the frequently asked questions for knitCompanion, and this video is on the Apple or iOS platform. If you're using Android and you'd like to see these same questions answered, we already have a video for that. You can click the little eye in the upper right-hand corner to see that video. I'll put a link in the video description field below if you are on a mobile device. If you're new to knitCompanion, I encourage you to give it a try. It is a game changer. It is such an easy way to keep track of where you are in your patterns, to interact with the PDFs and use the counters and the highlighter bar. And the features that we use the most in knitCompanion are in the free version. You can give it a try for free. You can go to the Apple App Store and look for knitCompanion, one word, and try the free version of the software. In the Apple platform, there are 3 different tiers. So if you're enjoying it and you want to get more into customizing exactly the way things look and using the voice commands and everything you can do with charts. Oh, by the way, all these things I'm mentioning, we have videos on all this stuff. If you want to see that, I'll also give you a link here and in the video description field below, because you want to start with the first videos if you're new to knitCompanion, except for this first part that we're going to talk about. The first question that the one we're going to spend the most time on is getting patterns into knitCompanion, because that's the question that comes up the most. And knitCompanion and I work together on this list of questions because I get questions here on my YouTube channel, and of course they get a lot of support questions. And the one that comes up the most is how to get a pattern in. And that's whether you're getting it through Ravelry or through Dropbox or through a pattern on a website like Knitty or something that isn't in PDF form, or even if it's in a magazine or a book. I'm going to show you how to do all that in this video. We're also going to talk about syncing between different devices. And if you're using the setup tier of the software, what order to set things up in. And then the last thing we'll cover is how to get help if you have questions. Lots of stuff to cover. The first question is the biggie that comes up all the time. I'm excited to show you guys because, gosh, Apple makes this so easy. So let's go ahead and take a look. Here we are in the knitCompanion homepage, and we're going to talk about getting patterns into knitCompanion. And the very easiest way to do that is through Ravelry. There's a big button up here, Ravelry. And if you tap that, it will ask you to log in if you haven't used knitCompanion Ravelry tab before, and all of the patterns that are in your Ravelry library will appear here. And if you have a bajillion of them like I do, it's easy to use the search bars to search by either name or designer to find what you're looking for. So if you buy a pattern directly on Ravelry.com, it will be in your library like this, no problem. But there's also a situation where you can buy a pattern through a website that uses the Ravelry shopping cart like my website does. And if you're not logged in to Ravelry when you shop on a website outside of Ravelry but still uses their shopping cart, this is what you'll see. This is what your download email will look like. If you were logged into Ravelry, you'll see download your pattern file. But if for whatever reason you weren't logged into Ravelry, you'll see this other button, add to your Ravelry library. And you can click that right in the email to add the pattern to your Ravelry library. Ravelry wants to make sure you have easy access to your patterns, so they give you this button kind of as a reminder, hey, you weren't logged into Ravelry when you bought that, maybe you want to add it to your Ravelry library. Very easy. Okay, another easy way to get patterns in to knitCompanion is by Dropbox. And Dropbox is a free service unless you have a whole bunch of stuff stored on there, but if you're just using it for knitting patterns, you're probably good. And this is what you want to use if, say you bought a pattern from a website that doesn't use the Ravelry library, like KnitPicks or Interweave magazine. You know, if you bought a pattern from there, you can go to Dropbox.com on your desktop or your laptop and open an account, and you can just click and drag your PDFs into Dropbox, and then when you log into Dropbox here, you will be able to get your patterns, you'll be able to get your patterns into knitCompanion this way. Make sure you have PDFs selected over here to see the PDFs, because we're going to talk about projects here in just a minute. If you haven't used Dropbox, just like Ravelry, it will ask you to log in, but this is another easy way. And a third easy way is to use iCloud. And you can go to iCloud.com and click and drag PDF patterns into the folder there, and then when you open the folder on your iPad or on your device, you can see all of your PDFs here. So the iCloud works a lot like Dropbox that way. So here we are back in knitCompanion. The next thing I want to show you, we're going to get into some uniquely Apple things here that I think are so cool because Apple makes this so easy. Okay, the first one is a website. And I'm on knitty.com, and Knitty has patterns just on their website, long kind of blog posts of pattern. And you could knit directly from Safari, because I'm in Safari here. But I'd really like to get this pattern into knitCompanion so I can use the knitCompanion features and keep track of where I am and stuff. So this gets very cool. This button up here, which is a box with an arrow pointing up, that's the share button. We're going to tap that and then scroll down to print. I know it doesn't want to make a lot of sense to print, but go ahead and scroll down to print, and it's going to open up preview. And when you see that preview, take 2 fingers and expand. And this reorients everything so that you have separate pages. Instead of one super long blog post, you have separate pages. Okay? And then once you get here, you're ready to share it to knitCompanion. So you have the box with the arrow again, tap it, and it'll let you share straight to knitCompanion. And it even opens it for you and lets you start the project. Isn't that cool? And all the pages are here. It's separated into pages for you. You are ready to go. Okay, that was so quick. I kind of want to show that one again because let me delete this. Let me back up out of where I am because I want to show that again because I know that's quick. Just undoing what I did. Okay, we're back on knitty.com. I chose this, but you can do this with any website that has a pattern in the website, not in a PDF format. First thing I'm going to do is the up arrow with the box, share, scroll down to print. Once it gives you a preview, expand, and then it gets it takes it out of one long web page and into separate pages for you. When it does that, you tap the share button again and you go straight to knitCompanion. Boom, look at that. That is so cool. Okay, let me get over my excitement with that before I show you the next thing. Okay, the next thing is a paper pattern. And I have this magazine from 2007. And there is a cute pattern in here. It's 2 pages, and I want to get this pattern into knitCompanion. So what I'll do is go to Notes, and that's this kind of spiral notepad looking icon. Tap that, and this is going to get it right into PDF format for me. I'm going to tap the camera and choose Scan Documents. And now it just wants me to take a picture. So I'm going to do this a little bit off camera because I have to pull it pretty far back to get this. It's hard to get this with the way the studio lights are. It's hard to see with the glare. Anyway, the cropping is kind of funny. It thinks I just wanted her face, but I don't. I want the whole thing. So I'm going to move the dots to get the whole page. And then this button down here says keep scan. I'll keep that. And take a picture of the second page. Or officially I'm scanning this document. And now it thinks I just want that. I don't, I want the whole thing, come on. This happened when I did the Android video, the Android FAQ video too. So keep scan, and now I am going to tap save, or hopefully, there we go. Okay, first thing I want to do here is I'm going to open this up and reorient these pages because everything's the wrong way. So tap the rotate button for the first page, tap the rotate button for the second page, and then I'm going to tap the share button. The share button's coming up a lot, isn't it? Tap the share button and put this straight in knitCompanion. And, well, what is wrong? Okay, there we go. And it's ready for me to start this project. Both pages are there. And I actually took pretty good pictures this time. Usually my scans are pretty bad while I'm sitting here. Something else I want to show you because, whoops, I want knitCompanion. Something else I want to show you is, this is the pattern I just scanned in PDF. It named it for me. It picked out some of the text, and this is called, I think, oh gosh, I lost the page. I think it's called something like, it's something cardigan. I lost the page, but it picked up the word cardigan and it actually named it for me too. I mean, I know it's not a big deal, but I thought that was really cool that it was so smart. Okay. That is the end of getting things into knitCompanion, getting your patterns into knitCompanion. Lots of different ways to do that. The next thing we're going to talk about is syncing between devices, because maybe you are working on a project, like this is something I'm working on for an upcoming tutorial, and this is no longer a PDF. This is definitely a project because I have things customized just the way I want them. I've written little notes to myself, and I want to be able to see this as it is, my project, exactly the way I've left it with my counters and my notes and everything else. But let's say I'm going on a road trip and I'm going to leave my iPad at home. I want to be able to use my cell phone and cell reception. So I'm going to use knitCompanion there. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the icon here in my projects and tap the three dots. And you get all kinds of options here, but you want the one with the arrow pointing up into a cloud with a box. It's not the greatest icon, I don't think, but I'm going to upload to Dropbox. And that's uploading the project to Dropbox, not the PDF, the project. So now when I go to Dropbox, make sure that I'm on projects, because PDFs was what we covered before. Now I'm on projects. When I'm on my phone, I can open this and open the project, which is a KCP file, that knitCompanion project, that will have all of my customization just the way I left it, so I can use knitCompanion on my phone with my project, with my counters, with my notes, everything else. So that's syncing between devices. Okay, whoops, I just bumped the camera, I am sorry. I think we're good. The next thing I want to talk about is another frequently asked question, which is, what is the order that you want to do things when you're using the setup tab? And a lot of the videos that I have out already explain the edit and the setup buttons and all of the customization that you can do. So please watch those videos for a complete rundown on everything you can do, because I'm just going to show you one example here. And something that I use setup for all the time is to create the world's greatest pattern page, right? So I'm not flipping between pages. I want my chart there. I want the legend for the chart there. I want the picture there. I want all of everything in one spot, right? And that's what I use this for all the time. So that's what I'm going to use for example here. And knitCompanion, they say that the order in which to do things is a lot like setting up an artificial Christmas tree. First, you place it upright, then you pull the branches out, then you join the branches to the trunk, and then you decorate it. And that's what we're going to use for setting up, for the order in which to do things in setup. So first I'm going to put together the world's greatest pattern pages of all the things that I want, just like I described. So I'm going to tap the plus, I'm going to make a new text piece from page 5. And like I said, I'm going to kind of move through this quickly because there's a lot to learn here, and the videos I have out that demonstrate using setup, which there are a lot of them, is all in the playlist, the knitCompanion playlist. So the first thing I'm going to do is to place it upright. And there's the rotate button down here, and I can rotate the page to make sure it's upright. And of course, my page is already upright, but this could be very handy if you, for instance, have a chart that's printed this way on the page. You want to get it the right direction. Okay, I'm just going to grab this little bit here. And the next thing you want to do is crop it. Okay, and then I want to join, which is adding the branches to the tree, because I'm going to add more pieces here. And there's the join button here. I'm going to add another piece from page 2 this time. And I'm going to take the picture. And I would orient it first and then crop it, right? The button up here, align. I can move this around where I want it. So now I have upright, I pulled the branches out, I joined the branches to the trunk, right? And I'm going to save that. And now the last thing is I can decorate it. I'm going to go back to knit, and I'm going to use scribble for that. Because you saw on the pattern the way that I had it, I put a lot of notes in my, whoops, I have scribble on. I put a lot of notes in my project so that I know exactly what I'm doing. If I'm knitting something or I'm going to be teaching something in a tutorial, I always want to make sure that, like with mittens, the first one matches, the second one matches the first one, etc. So I make notes to myself in very sloppy handwriting. I'm decorating. I can highlight things. I can make myself a Valentine heart and another one in red. This doesn't make any sense. I'm just showing you the order in which to do things to make it all fit together. And that is make your piece the correct orientation, crop it if needed, join if needed, and then decorate it as ridiculously as you want as the last step. Okay, that's the order in which to do things. Let's talk about getting help. And for this, I want to go to the knitCompanion website because there's so much there on knitcompanion.com. Yes. The first thing, place to get good help is the Getting Started button here. There is the intro tour, all of my tutorials, popular features, and feature list. And the FAQ section is very good because if you're using knitCompanion and you have a question, chances are someone's asked the question before, and knitCompanion's good about putting them in the frequently asked questions tab. There are the tutorials. Besides the VeryPink tutorials, knitCompanion has a million little videos showing very specific things for using the software, exactly where to tap and drag and crop and whatever else. There are the guides. knitCompanion has the big reference guide, which is basically an owner's manual to knitCompanion. And then quick guide is something that I use all the time because sometimes there is something that I'm pretty sure knitCompanion can do, or I've done it before and I want to refresh my memory. I use the quick guide to get myself back to where I remember it, or sometimes I learn something new, but I'm pretty sure knitCompanion knows how to do it, you know, because the software is just so robust. And then the last thing is support. And here you can, if you're not finding help in the FAQs or in the tutorials, you can open a new ticket and have knitCompanion work one-on-one with you to get one-on-one assistance. And I think that's it. Back to knitCompanion and my beautiful, my beautiful Valentine heart piece. And that's it. I hope I got all your questions answered here. If you have another question, feel free to leave it in the comments and we can maybe get it in the next video. But that's it for now. Good luck.